crimes in many places, in every community, you can see. So if you see crime, you report it. Don't take law in your hands, call the real authority. Really can't take care of it. Crime Stopper here for us, bringing safety to your door. Whether you rich or you poor, if you see a you must talk it, enemy you cheche. Do it for your safety. If you see it, don't keep it. You must call to report it. Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime Stopper, Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crimes for all of us. Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime Stopper, Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crimes for all of us.
Crime Stopper Liberia is your community crime fighting partner. Don't take the law into your own hands. Remember, if you see a crime, report it. This is a message from your own self, Old Man Sam Sion.
Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime Stopper, Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crime for all of us. Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime Stopper, Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crimes for all of us.
Yo, hello. I want to talk about violence. More violence is indiscriminate. It can happen for any reason and to anyone. Until we do something to stop the surge of vigilante-style justice in this country, none of us will be safe. My Liberia is Liberia of hope. In my Liberia, it is possible. Violence is not part of my Liberia. Violence leads to property damage, injury, or even death, as we are seeing in recent months in several parts of Liberia, including Monrovia. Talk to people in your community about violence. Stand up against mob justice. Be a community hero. Liberia is all that we have. We must all unite to uphold the rule of law. Thanks for listening. This is Old Man Sam Sion.
We want peace in Liberia. Peace in Monrovia. We want peace in Liberia.
What happened? Mama, you still do it?
No, let's still boy. Hey, yes, the mama do our party. I go see what I'm
Share, mama, we are only down face.
For what's a blood?
What tablet, man, piece, what tablet, piece.
No,
brain. No, stop it. You can't do that. Are you a brain human being? Let me know like Rosafi. Huh? Let me know like Rosafi. You tell human being you're a brain human being. Let's stop the kind of thing. If we catch criminal or somebody commit crime in our community or whatsoever, take that to the law or carry that to the nearby police station and report that to the police. Let the police themselves investigate and find out whether he right or wrong. Yesterday, I was coming from Keba. A brother walked along truck. I said, no, they said the truck hit the motorball ball. All the motorball men plus the keke men get and they say they want point the driver in the truck. It's wrong. Let's stop more violence. Maybe the accuser or somebody that you feel they are criminal, they may not be criminal. But when you take that to the police station, based upon the police investigation, they will tell you that they may that criminal or not. Please, my people.
who are you?
You policeman.
Were you a moppy?
Yeah, come here. You're going to ask me as I do. Yes, you're all right. As I was saying, yeah, let's stop that kind of thing. Take it to the law. You not get one right. Under the law, nobody right until the law can say you are right or wrong. Please, I beg you, my people.
Who say you?
If I say who tell you,
So say who?
so say Old Man Sam Sion, the man who get Crime Stopper. He the one say, I'm gonna tell you, nobody must take the law in their hand. Don't say they say in Jamaica say, Old Man Sam Sion say, don't take the law in your hand. You have to come away. You want it was you who will be the first now to come attack me.
Yeah, not true, yeah. I ain't there.
Yeah, I feel you.
Do. Hey, all the time there. Oh, my son, I'm looking at Jesus for you.
Yeah, my fellow Liberians, welcome to the Nighttime Spain. You know, all of these safety messages that will bring you about Crime Stoppers Liberia, some of you are still in violation. Some of you are still behaving like the way the government is behaving, taking the laws into your own hands. Look, we are not encouraging people to go steal. We don't tell people to go and steal. But when the criminals are caught, we have the laws, we have the law enforcement officers, we have the police. You know, whenever you catch a criminal, don't take the laws into your own hands. Mob justice is not good. Yeah, sometimes the criminals too, when they, enter your house, they harm your family, they do all kinds of bad things to you. But once you get the chance to catch them, turn them over to the law. Let the law be your judge. I know sometimes you get so frustrated that the very criminals, when you catch them, report them to the police, the next day you see them in the very community, terrorizing the community and making a lot of big mouth. So when you see it happen like that, you say the next time they may or they will more catch them, I'm not going to carry them to the police. We'll take the laws into our own hands, which is wrong. We should start behaving like the way the government is behaving. The government does not have respect for the rule of law. That's why you see everything in the country is going the way it is going. Because the people that are supposed to protect the laws of the country are the very ones that are breaking the law, that are disrespecting the laws. So the ordinary citizens see it and sometimes and say, but if the people that are supposed to protect the law are violating the laws, what's about me, the ordinary person? That's how you see the country is being lawless. Nobody have respect for the rule of law anymore under the watch of Joseph Boakai. You know, like we always told you, any good thing that happened for this country, it happened for you, it also happened for me. Any bad thing that happened to this country is going to affect you, it's also going to affect me. So we'll not sit down here and encourage you to disrespect the authorities. But you see, when the people who are in authority, they themselves disrespecting the rule of law, that's how you find the citizens themselves doing the same thing, taking after them. So at the end of the day, you have a country that the rule of law is not respected. And that is exactly what is unfolding in our country. People are scared. People are not happy in the country. Because You know, the 14-year war we fought in this country, it did a lot of bad things to us. It brought a lot of setback to us. People had to discontinue their education for 14 years when other countries, you know, were moving ahead. Aliyu, please check your phone. I've sent you the link. Aliyu, you have to check your phone. The link is sent to you. So please check your system. I don't know. Let me call Cruiser to help me out, but we already sent the link. I don't know why you're not getting the link. So just check your system and see. Cruiser is going to come in to help me out here tonight. So you see, that's what is happening in our country. That is exactly what is happening in our country. Everybody doing their own thing. People are getting scared. 14 years wasted. So people are saying, but what the essence of the war? Why we fought war in Liberia? Because in other countries that war was fought, those countries are going far ahead in terms of development. Rwanda is one. Other countries around us, they fought war too. But they have gone far. Because they said to themselves that all of those that fought war in this country were not getting state power. But for Liberia, our case is different. We say the people that fought war will compensate them with state power. That's why you see people who are in authority today does not have respect for the rule of law. Because, you know, gone are those days where people will use arms to get to power. Gone are those days. So if you will go through the butchers to come and unseat a constitutional government, nobody will support that. If you want to unseat a government, you go through the ballot boxes. That's where you will show your strength. But you're not going to take guns to come and wage war to unseat a government, because that has never, ever benefited us in this country. All it brought to us was total destruction. That you see in this modern age and time, Liberia is still struggling, you know, to get there. Let me take a break and get my guys set up, because this discussion promises to be interesting. So let me see what I can get my guys set up.
It's about musical. There are crimes in many places, in every community, you know, you can see. So if you see crime, you report it. Don't take law in your hand, call the right authority. Then it can't take care of it. Crime Stopper here for us, bringing safety to your door. Whether you rich or you poor, if you see a you must talk it. Enemy you cheche, do it for your safety. If you see it, don't keep it. You must call to report it. Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime Stopper Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crimes for all of us. Crime Stopper.
Welcome back to the show. All right, so folks, shortly before midnight, we will do a draw. Let me get to the lines quickly in the next 5 minutes. We'll do a draw in the next 5 minutes. So quickly play. In the next 5 minutes, I'm going to do a draw. So I'm getting myself set. 11:55 we'll do our next draw. So let's give it a try in the next 5 minutes. All right, in the next 5 minutes we'll do another draw. So you see, the country is not moving right. The country is not moving rightly because those who are placed in authorities are the very ones that are, violating the laws of our country. Today, in our country, we have a constitutional crisis where you have the constitutional speaker, and then you have the quote unquote so-called speaker of the majority bloc. And then you have the justice minister, who is the Attorney General of the Republic of Liberia, the man who can pen all the contracts, then all the everything that can come to the government. And he one of those that can even disagree with the president. This is the justice minister that is coming to tell us that the ruling from the Supreme Court supports the majority bloc. So because of that statement made by the justice minister, the senator then say they will work with the majority bloc instead of the pro-Kofa group. And now the Supreme Court is calling on the justice minister, the man who, despite his blunder, he's one of the seasoned lawyers in this country, Oswald Twe. But for Oswald to come up and misinterpret the Supreme Court ruling to the public, it makes someone else to reason and ask ourselves if we can have this kind of justice minister, then I think Liberia will be on par with other countries. Because if the justice minister can come and tell us that the Supreme Court say that ruling that it came away, they are supporting the majority bloc. So the executive will do business with the majority bloc. The senators will do business with the majority bloc. So the Supreme Court has come up now to tell the justice minister to publicly retract everything he said relative to that ruling. So in a country like Liberia, that the final arbiter of justice will come out and speak, because when the Supreme Court speaks, then it means that the next person now will be looking up to that goal. All right. So the next person, are we set? Please turn the monitor to me. Thank you. Thank you, Dwell Cruzo. Dwell Cruzo is giving me every assistance needed tonight. So if the Supreme Court can speak and then the people are disrespecting the Supreme Court, it means there is no coordination between the three branches or amongst the three branches of government. The Supreme Court come out and said this. The executive said, no, we're not going to listen to you. So what it speaks to? Disrespect to the rule of law. So you see what is happening in our country? The president is calling on the speaker to resign. Failure on the speaker part, all of his immunities will be withdrawn from him, his security, and all of that. Some of you have access to the social media. You saw what was posted on the speaker page about the official statement from the government of Liberia telling the speaker that beginning tomorrow, all the security details assigned to the speaker, including vehicles and all of that, will be taken away from him. This man has not been impeached. He stays the third most powerful person in the country. And then you are telling him to do, or telling the speaker that will take everybody that we assign to you, will take them from you. Do you know what is creeping? The country is a very small country. This country is a very small country. Too many things happening in the country. So there's a group that is planning to take to the streets on Tuesday. I listened to Janje Pape on the Freedom High Talk. And he said, this is not about party. This is not about former President George Weah. This is not about anybody within the CDC or other opposition political parties. This is about Liberia. When you have people who supposed to be protecting the laws are violating the laws, you need to call them to check and say, no, this country is a country of law. So let's respect the laws of our country. So they're going to present their petition to both houses on Tuesday. And according to him, if they are not giving the redress they deserved, they will be there for days. So they are calling on every well-meaningful Liberian those of you who are witnessing the laws of our country being disrespected, those of you from West Point, those of you from Logan Town, those of you from Newcastle, those of you from Clara Town, all over Liberia, to join them to call on Joseph Boakai and his government to tell them to start disrespecting the Liberian people. Because the laws of the country is the law that govern you and myself. See what is happening in our country. So if we cannot respect the Supreme Court, then what it speaks to fellow Liberians? Justice Minister President Chakla. We are not lawyers. We know nothing about the law. So when we have a case, as I speak to you, currently I'm having a case at the Broadville Magisterial Court. It's a family thing, family dispute. And we have reached to a point where we have decided, both parties have decided to have what we call out of court settlement. So sometimes when you go to the court, you listen to the lawyers taking the stage, descending on legal issues. You sometimes learn from them. But this country is going down. This country is going down. We're not supporting anybody who push for violence. We're not supporting anybody who will insult the leadership. There is a way to call President Joseph Boakai to check. Let his old man know that he was elected to serve the country, to respect the Constitution of the country, not to violate the Constitution. There is penalty for that. There is penalty for that. Look at the other day at the Capitol. Police and civilians clashing. Police moving on lawmakers. The police that's supposed to settle dispute. The police has been politicized. They have taken side now. So can we trust the police? Do we see the police as our friend? When the police that's supposed to be protecting us are now taking sides. That thing that happened at the Capitol the other day, that thing could lead our country into chaos. Because besides the police that were carrying arms, nobody else we saw there with arms beside the police. So why, if they have killed somebody over there, what the police were going to tell us? That this person was, trying to move on them, and mistakenly the arm just fired. See police and civilians, lawmakers, all of them clashing in a tightly placed called hallway. And the president, at the age of 80, the president, who is an elderly man, who is a grandfather or father, who some of you see as your mentor, is behaving in that form and manner. A father cannot call his children to settle dispute, but rather to take side with one of the children and say, I will support you. Be that your big brother, be that your small sister. beat on them until you do any harm to them. That is not a good father. It's a bad father. So nobody needs to tell you that what is happening at the Capitol is not being supported by the executive. Nobody needs to tell you that. All right? Nobody needs to tell you that what is happening at the Capitol, Joseph Boakai hands is not involved. So let me see. Okay. So I'm about to call this person. I just sent. I'm about to call this number, and let's see who's going to be this person. All right. So let me just read this, and it says here. Let me read this. Liberia Speaker Kofa decries executive plan to strip immunity and security amid refusal to resign. The Speaker of the House of let me do this quickly. Let me read this for you. It says, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, J. Fonati Kofa, all right, has disclosed that the executive branch has informed him of plans to strip him of his immunity and state security just days after he reported threats against his life and rejected calls to resign. In a strongly worded statement on Wednesday, Speaker Kofa described the withdrawal of his security detail as an intimidation tactic. I have officially been informed that all state security will be withdrawn tomorrow, Speaker Kofa said in a Facebook post. These actions from the executive do not change the fact that I remain the Speaker of the House of Representatives. This only further strengthens my resolve to fight for upholding the rule of law and the Liberian Constitution. This announcement comes amid heightening tensions between Speaker Kofa and the so-called majority bloc in the legislature, which recently declared his removal as Speaker, backed by the executive. The bloc has accused Kofa of corruption and conflict of interest, allegations he has vehemently denied. Despite the controversial move, Kofa has maintained that his removal was unconstitutional and insists he remains the legitimate Speaker. Threats against his life. The power struggle has taken a dangerous wrong turn, with Speaker Kofa reporting threats against his life just days before the executive plan to withdraw his state security. Analysts and civil society organizations have raised concerns about the potential for political violence amid the impasse. The Speaker's refusal to resign has reportedly frustrated the executive. During a meeting on Monday, President Joseph Boakai urged Kofa to step down, but he declined, citing the Supreme Court ruling he claims validated his position. So you listen, Joseph Boakai is not comfortable having, Kofa as the Speaker. So this is the situation. This is where we are as a country. So you see what is happening in Liberia now? The country is divided. The government is divided. The executive does not have respect for anything that the Supreme Court says. No wonder why the president legal advisor always melting into the affairs of the justice system. We saw the case of Julie Andy and this dude called Prophet Key. Buju Ben Keita called on the county attorney to make sure that case is thrown out. So I don't understand all of these legal people around the president. What are they telling the president? Oh, the president is having depreciation problem? Because, you know, the age of the president is not fully active. He's somehow, the Englishman would say, incapacitated. Joseph Boakai is not strong mentally. He's not. You know, when you're aging, you depreciate. And that is exactly what is happening to our president. Yeah, he's the president of Liberia. You say he's fully in charge, but I don't think so. I think there are people who are making decisions for the president that is causing serious problem for the president. But the president himself, he needs to read between the lines. But that is to tell you that the president is incapacitated mentally. 80 years old person. 80 years old. He had a lot of medical conditions before coming to state power. This old man was vice president for 12 years. So some of the things happening, you know, you tend to wonder why it is happening. What is happening to our president? What is exactly happening to our president? Why is he not in charge? Why is he not speaking to some of the things happening in the country? Oh, yes, I remember. Some of you used to say, oh, the thing happening, President, we are not talking. President, we are not talking. But it's been 1 year now since Joseph Boakai took over as president. We sat on this radio, on other platforms, on other media institutions. We condemn the first thing, the former president, how, you know, the current officials of this government disrespected the president, deny him entry to the executive lodge. Former president arriving in the country, sending military people on the airport. You know, a lot of things have been happening. A lot of things have been happening. The disrespect that have been meted out against the former president by this current administration. The information minister. All these people. Liberia. Our country is shaking. Look, there are some people in this government that knows that Boakai is not doing the right thing. But they will not speak out because you know why? They don't have the integrity. Their fear is when they speak out, they will get booted out of the system. Matthew Nyemplu, he criticized the scholarship issue and said the scholarship issue was a scam that the foreign minister brought into the country for people to pay money to go on government scholarship. He spoke against that. He got suspended. While serving his suspension, he turned in his resignation. We know a couple of people within this government who have the country at heart, but they are just in the minority. You have out of 20%, you just see only 1 or 2 there. See the way our country is going. State security are violating the laws. These are the things that were happening that brought war in Liberia. Well, yes. Yes. These were the things happening that brought war in Liberia. So those of you watching us, keep your comments there. We'll read them out for you. We'll open up the phone lines and give you the time to speak to some of the issues being discussed on this platform tonight. I just don't know. Cruzo told me the link has been sent, and I'm here to see Radio LIB with us. I just don't know what is happening. Cruzo, this is bad. We can't get our USA partners. I just don't know what is happening tonight. But folks, let's take word from Crime Stoppers Liberia, and then when we come back, we can read a few comments and take your calls on tonight.
It's about musical. There are crimes in many places. In every community, you know, you can see. So if you see crime, you will report it. Don't take law in your hand for the real authority. That it can't take your law. Crime Stopper here for us, bringing safety to your door. Whether you rich or you poor, if you see a human talking, enemy you cheche. Do it for your safety. If you see it, don't keep it. You must call to report it. Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime Stopper Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crimes for all of us. Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime Stopper Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crimes for all of us.
Crime Stopper Liberia is your community crime fighting partner. Don't take the law into your own hands. Remember, if you see a crime, report it. This is a message from your own self, Old Man Sam Cyan.
Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime Stopper Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crimes for all of us. Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime Stopper Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crimes for all of us.
Oh yes, Crime Stoppers Liberia. We say a big thank you to the team headed by Old Man Sam Cyan. So let's get to reading some comments here this morning. Let's get to the comments now. Okay, it says Emmanuel S. Tutu. It says I'm watching from New Matadi. And Amos Mustafa Yale says, good evening. I'm following you from St. J. Grand, Cape Mal County. Mohammed Kamara says, good evening, my brother. Watching you from MKK community. Joyce Wem says, hello, friend. Hello to you, Joyce. Elijah Sonny Boy Williams says, following you from my New Georgia District 13 residence. And J. Rende J. Dapo says, Brother Wendell, leaving Liberia in 1990 after the Civil War is one of the reasons I left and might not return. All right, continuation of his comment. And he says, the Civil War took a significant part of my future. I believe I will be the next new Nokofo. Wow. All right. So Kati, that's Kate Kati passed away, says hi, Wendell. And Randy Dapo again says Joseph Waka and the so-called majority bloc are creating climate of violence in Liberia. And so far, so good. Those are all the comments we have. Keep your comments coming through. We will definitely read them out for you. So we are about to open up the phone lines. You can call in and make your contribution. This is the Nighttime Spain. And it's unfortunate that we couldn't link up with our partner of Radio LIB. Let's hope we can get them before we are out of here. So I'm still trying to get the folks from Radio LIB. So 0776 104 104, 086 500 104. The WhatsApp line is +231 886 500 104. So let's see whether we can start to take calls now on the show. And okay. So let's see whether we can take calls on the show right now. So those of you who are listening, the numbers have been announced. You can call and make your contribution. Every caller, you will have a minute to speak. So please make sure what you're about to say will elapse in 1 minute. Let's take you out our first caller. Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing, sir?
I'm fine. Thank you. Welcome to the show. What's your name, sir?
My name is Awuka. I'm calling from Lincoln Mountain Street.
Okay, Mr. Kane, you are live on Freedom Radio. Let's hear your contribution.
My brother, country will not understand the lot of comment. Seriously, the comments when it bad, I don't understand. Everybody just crying in the country.
Okay, so says the caller, everybody is just crying in the country. You can't understand what's going on and all of that. Thank you for your contribution. Thank you so much for calling in tonight. All right, let's take more calls, but let me do this quick. Let me do something quick.
It's about musical. There are crimes in many places. In every community, you can see. So if you see crime, you report it. Don't take law in your hand for the right authority. Really can't take care of it. Crime Stopper here for us, bringing safety to your door. Whether you rich or you poor, if you see a you must talk it, I mean you check it.
We have this caller on the line. Let me talk to this person. Hello? I'm fine. Welcome to the show. What's your name and where you calling from?
Calling from Lana and Kevin Street.
Go ahead. Make your point. You have a minute.
I know everything is being recovered. Let's just keep it strong and look up to the government and have to know what to go everywhere.
Okay. All right, so we should look up to the government. So says the caller. We are looking up to them. We will not give up, but we'll make sure that we will put their feet to fire so they can do the right thing. Thank you. Thank you. Let's take you this person. Hello.
Hello?
No, you're not serious at all. You call with feedback. You know I will not take you with feedback. Once you call me with feedback, it means you're wasting your time. So if you want us to have a good conversation, you will have to move away from your radio. Don't call us with feedback. Let's go back to the lines and take you. Hello.
Hello? Yeah.
Yeah, how are you?
I know, right?
What's your name and where you calling from?
I'm even big. I'm calling from Kesani Buruba.
Go ahead, Eric. Let's hear you.
Well, we thank God very much. We need to kneel down and pray the Almighty God. Because when we two are born, we are not seeing such a thing. One country have two, how do you call it, speaker. So it is our heart, and so we need to talk with our president to come in with a father to make sure that the country says again. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The caller says his first time seeing this kind of thing happening, where we have two speakers. Somebody say one is sound box, the other one says the one is speaker. So the sound box is Richard Cohen, because Richard Cohen is not the constitutional speaker. He's the speaker for the majority black, but not the speaker for the House of Representatives. Let's talk to you. Hello.
Hello, it's Mone.
Yeah. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Yeah, good morning, sir. I'm Fanning Kedewe, President Abel.
All right, go ahead. Let's hear you. Go ahead.
One day, we people don't believe men of God. We make a prophet from Ghana. I'll sit out. Prophet was one okay. Message, the calamity. Yes, daddy. Wait, I mean, the honorable guy who go with a picture and the amount close. The money amount close, that's the truth. Yes? The amount close. The past moment when I see that, whoever speak and see that man, where are they? The president, that's no way. When deep in the valley.
Okay.
When you got my say, thank you for the program. Very educative.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Let's keep the calls coming in. Let's talk Liberia. Liberia is all we have, and let's talk about our country. You know, it's not easy. People are complaining. The people who say they can't rescue us, the way out they can't rescue us, they're ready drowning us. They're not rescuing us. Let's bring on the female General Mansisi. Mansisi, good morning from Claratown and welcome to the show. Oh, Mansisi, I didn't cut you off. You just went off. You can call back. All right. So the numbers to call are 0776 104 104 0886 500 104. And the number for the female callers is 0770-297-016. Let's talk to Mansisi. Mansisi, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning, Mr. Jimmy. How are you doing, my son?
I'm all right. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing great.
Go ahead.
Left there with them, but thank you.
I know.
So when it comes to our country, we will not sleep until we can see it come to the scene in our era. We will not sleep. When they were on my mind is where Joseph Baka. Joseph Baka told us in this country that when he now win election will be the end of that period. And I will see today, he ended up for us so quick. Other people there, they were leaders in the country. He created Mr. Baka. You pay some people here. And if you have people say, we are kicked off. We gave the country, and associated people, they gave it, not they gave it, but they gave it to you. For stealing the election and give it to you. So, happening. All the time you honor any, what did you learn from the anyone putting the most snow and talent? We not see any face in a picture. Baka, the thing you brought our country. Look, the people laughing at all with them. The whole world laughing at all to see Baka showing a face. Telling people to can't take money and give it to them when we open the country. We cry our children in school. We talking and taking those rescue Liberia today. You rescue your own stomach. Your brother in America, they came to rescue their own children. Their own stomach, they didn't find that one there. Why did you rescue now, Baba? Take off on this bondage. When we're on it, we're on a bondage. Today you can't have the bondage. Whatever before. We're suffering. You're spending money all over the place. You're coming to ministry and taking money. Find it, just say ministry. You don't want to talk about what's over yet. He lies, he defies all kind of things. He's expecting the rule of law in this country because he wants job with them. No, our country is clear. Our country is clean. And we are suffering with the Roma. The person is suffering, they put us to in law and read. So for the old man worker, it's for everything they put the country for us. Then they tell you all the country going the red path, they're going the red way, airport, so airport. No, we don't stop them. Go to power. That's what they bound the radio. We come too happy today. Thank you for having my chat.
Thank you very much. That's the voice of the tough talking man, CC. Let's come back to you. Good morning.
Yeah, hello.
Yes, good morning. Welcome to the show.
I'm
I will call to you, Avo.
No, I'm listening from my morning call.
What's the meaning of that?
Sorry.
Okay, so you're not ready to talk yet, so let me leave you and take another person. All right, so let me leave you and take another person. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, welcome to the show.
Welcome, my name is Chris. I'm calling from the PSP.
Go ahead, let's hear you.
There's one issue. The way the comments carry the country to the river. I'm a person to see two speakers in one country. And the way the country is going is very bad. Yeah. Secondly, the schools. One is schools, we are in the school, we are in
Okay.
But we're not speaking of no issue about the school. The whole country is very cool. Everyone was again noticing. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Let's take another person. This person will do. Good morning.
Yeah, hello. You can get me now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm on the line of too long. I'm Dennis calling from Sokolina. The way the government is running, I just want you people to know we are not afraid to go to the bush. The armed forces of Liberia, the police cannot do anything to us. We're well trained. We're only getting an opportunity to do that. If we do not work, put ourselves together, they will get it from us. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's bring on J. Rennie J. Dapo all the way there from the US of A. Rennie, good morning from Liberia and welcome to the Nighttime Spain.
Yes, Wendell, can you hear me?
You are loud and clear. The entire country is listening. Let's hear your contribution from the US of A.
Yeah, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. It's been a long time. I know we are pressed with time, but I will do the best I can. You know, I think you read one of my or two of my comments.
Mm-hmm.
There's something that you said that was very touching to me as I was sitting down finishing helping my son with homework. You said how the war, the 14-year civil war took a serious toll of our life.
Mm-hmm.
And as you were explaining that, it kind of took my mind behind how we used to struggle walking from Single, going along the different places behind Carway, get to Fender and get food and stuff like that. And we came out of the war losing almost like 300,000 people or 250,000 people. And you imagine that we had the political resolution for our country politics.
Mm-hmm.
And you think that we will now be focused on a democratic process that will respect the rule of law. But from what some of who experienced the war, some of who are survivor of the war, and we see what is happening in our country, and it gave me a lot of hopelessness. Let me just put it that way. We are now living in the exile, if to say that we don't have a home.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't have a home because of the way things are going. I mean, we had 3 branches of government, and Mr. Boyka is not really representing 2 things as I see it so far. One, Mr. Boga claimed to have 42-year experience. We go by from the Tottenham days to even the Ellen days. You
Mhm.
imagine that you be someone who is like a father of our nation, who would tell, oh, don't do this. But instead, he's behaving like someone who only have what I describe as present-day memory and not memory of the past, like you and myself and other Liberians. And
Mhm.
and then as he continued to manifest himself, and violating the rule of law, and doing things, encouraging things, supporting things. I think if I look at Mr. Boga administration, there's just one way I can describe it, and that is Mr. Boga and his so-called majority black are creating a climate of violence, and that will erode the trust, that will erode the democracy. That means whatever we are and Ellen has built in post-war Liberia, Mr. Boga is going to ruin that. And if that happens, well, I think we got another 50 more years to rebuild our country. I think the old man doesn't understand what is at risk here, and nobody advising him. And I want to agree with you, Wendell, that he is not in charge, because at that age, in many developed countries, people are not able to do anything for themselves. Liberians who work here in the healthcare sector will tell you, Mr. Boga, in my opinion, is a disability president with all due respect, but his functional capacity is not allowing him to be as functional as he is. And in this country, we call that presidential disability. So there's no disrespect to that, but that the profile that he fit. Number two, his ability to transfer his 42-year experience to lead a country through the eyes of the rule of law, he is unable to do that as well. So that means that he is also incapacitated when it comes to leadership. So there's nothing that Mr. Boga can do. Lastly, before I leave, you guys are going to go on what I describe as imposing censorship on the media. Today, Julius Jett was on his show trying to describe the process that the Supreme Court kind of look at, because the Supreme Court was not looking at the legal way that this was done, and asked both parties to go and sit down and discuss it. Did we do the thing right? Get a checklist, and and the checklist will look at the constitutional procedures to determine whether it supported or went through the rule of law, which define our democratic principle. That was the triangulation that the Supreme Court was looking at. But the guy decided not to do that because I don't think they have the number, they don't have the support. So this guy they call Koga, he called on the show today with Julia Jett. And Mr. Jett, as I listened to him with my independent mind, he was saying the right thing, that they did not do the right thing. And the Supreme Court was only asking for the legal process. And this guy they call Representative Koga threatening Julia Jett with some type of censorship, meaning that you guys are not allowed to express yourself. And he, in the end, told the guy, I think we will call the management to the hall or to the chamber. So because somebody is explaining something that is right to educate the people, he found that as some type of offensive thing. In fact, when he started the conversation, when the phone call came in, Julia answered the phone call and he said, let me tell you, the reason why Rwanda got destroyed is because of journalists. You send a very negative message out there to his supporter. He did not give any further explanation. Then he said Julia Jett is inciting violence in the country. And the third thing he said is, we will try to call your management to section. That means that they are on their way to censor you guys, which we describe as censorship. That's what he's trying to do. So imagine the guys who are in the opposition, majority black, they are having a kind of sentiment. Imagine if they take charge of the Senate and the House of Representatives. Do you think you will be able to express yourself? Absolutely not. Because Mr. Boga going to sit over there and allow these things to happen. The last time we ever saw people entering the Capitol in the United States was that insurrection that took place on January the 6th. Those were gangsters of people. The Capitol Police, the DC Police, they came to the aid of Democrat and Republican. There's nowhere in the history where you will see police go into the house of the law and begin to beat the people who enforce the law. Who make the law. You see, it created a leadership and an imbalance of government. Why and how? Okay, the lawmaker make the law, right? And the police are there to enforce the law.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the guy who make the law and the guy who enforce the law, they came a local and they could not agree. Let somebody tell me, as a police officer, when those lawmakers that they were targeting, were they in any defensive or aggressive mode, or were they just walking to their office? You see, there has to be a suspicion or reasonable crime that you found committed before you can act.
Exactly.
So guy will want to go into the office. All this you are doing was just follow those guys, and it is sitting down and doing nothing. That means that you're maintaining the peace. But to just block those guys, I mean, imagine coming to your office when and somebody standing in your way. I mean, that is violating your constitutional right. And so the police were absolutely wrong. And this is where Mr. Boka and his justice minister, including those lawmakers, should have called the police director, the justice minister, to ask them who gave them that authority. Because to be on the lawmaker without no justifiable reason is a sign of complete disorderliness in the country. But again, like you said, when the people who really want to see a better Liberia, they are in minority, unfortunately, in the country. I'm not talking about the minority of Mr. Kofa. I'm talking about the totality of our
country. Yeah.
They are our country. They are in minority. And let me say this to you guys, Liberians, listen to me. You may disagree with me today, but in the future, you will regret it. These guys are taking 6 years to destroy your future. Your age is not reducing. Your age is inversely proportional to your physical well-being and your brain. Meaning, the older you get, the weaker you become. Other countries around there, people are learning, children are learning. Artificial intelligence is taking over. By the year 2030, Liberia will be among the African nations that will be competing for best job. Are we ready to discuss and prepare our young generation? Because all we see from Liberia is nothing but politics. Politics is not going to call it for us. In fact, politics, like it or not, has a way to impact your life negatively or positively. That depends on what you want. So if you don't plan for anything, you will take anything as your means to survive. So Liberians need to understand what Mr. Kofa is doing is a battle between the rule of law versus the unwritten rules. Do you want to live in a dictatorship government, or do you want to live in a democratic government? This is where I think Liberians need to focus and concentrate their attention. Lastly, again, do you want democracy or do you want dictatorship? Because Mr. Boka is building a climate of violence that will be utilized through the eyes of violence and dictatorship. Mr. Kofa is standing his ground. One thing that we see over here, neither Mr. Kuhn nor his supporter have gone to the house and say, hey guys, let's sit down and go through the process, the constitutional process that support the rule of law. They had not done that. So how can they come up with a speaker? That means that they had no regard for the rule of law. And
So
these guys,
true.
children, are living in America. These guys have money. When so happen, I listened to you the other day when you said when things happen, we got nowhere to go. I was in that shoe one time. I went through that. And that's why on my post I said, I'm not willing to go back there again, Wendell, to be honest with you. I miss my country, but I'm not willing to go back there because these guys who are in power, they are acting like they never lived through the war. They never saw the war. Look at South Korea. Look at Japan. Look at Rwanda you talk about. All the countries went to war. But when they came back, what did they do? They changed themselves. They opened a new chapter. They took a new page and begin to write their future and the future of their generation. But when you look at what we're doing with what hope do we have? The little child today that is in the yard, or the child that is sleeping tonight. When you walk to any teenager in the country and ask them, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? If nobody in Liberia can tell you where do you see yourself in the next 5 years, Wendell, I'm sorry.
So sad.
One time, and this is my last story here. My last story. One time I was on Tottenham Field, sitting down, and I received a letter from the guy who left Liberia in 1981. And that was 1987 when I received that letter. He told me, he said, Randolph, Liberia will not be a better country anytime soon. When I argued with that guy from Liberia, we used to read letter back and forward. I came in this country here, Wendell. My daughter just graduated from college. And the guy come every day to my house and say, you talking about Liberia? I said, yes. He said, how old is your daughter? I said, she out of college now. He said, that 21 years now, right? I said, yeah. He said, what did I tell you in 1987? And this guy is telling me this thing with them from 87. My daughter is out of college, going to do a master's. And I'm here getting old, and Liberia is still the way the guy described it when I was just a teenager. That is something that is beating my conscience. He's telling me that this country, he don't see any future in this country.
Wow.
But that is not possible. Yes, that is not possible. But we can do it. If not, Wendell, what I have gathered, in the midst of what he told me, I am confident in the Alpha generation. The Alpha generation are those that were born starting from 2013. By the end of 2025, the Alpha generation will be in the world. By the year 2065, the Alpha generation that are now 11 years old today, they will be about 51, 49 years old by the year 2065. That when I believe Liberia will be a better country. I want you to take this from me. The day I die, let the recording be played around all generations. I strongly believe that Liberia will be a better country, thinking like Rwanda, thinking like Ghana by the year 2065. Or else, we always live in our little silo in the country, but will not be able to have a collective, sustainable future, especially led by Joseph Boakai. Joseph Boakai is taking the country on a rewind. You know how we used to play the cassette tape? You rewind it. Joseph Boakai is taking the country backward. He's not moving the country forward.
Thank you.
People will not believe it, but I want you guys to think about that. All right, Wendell, you're welcome, man. My brother, I'm listening to the show. Keep doing what you're doing. I mean, you are one of the pioneers. We support you. We support the show. If you need me anytime, just give me a ring. When I'm available, I will come and educate our people on this thing here. But the country is getting so bad right now. The entire year is a loss. So whatever agenda he has, he said he got 16 on his agenda. He already lost one. By 2025, Joseph Boakai not going to achieve anything. Because in the first 3 quarters, his budget as well as his framework, because he had not defined his framework. In 2018, Mr. Weah was done with his framework, the proposed agenda for development and prosperity by October of 2018. So that means Mr. Weah was already on track. But Mr. Boakai is taking 1 year to not even present a framework document. So what's going to happen in 2025? The first 2 quarters, he's going to bring out that document. He's going to be going back and forward. So again, I'm predicting by the year 2025, around this time in 2025, Boakai will only achieve. He will not overachieve. And, so thank you very much, Wendell. God bless.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That's the voice of J. Randy J. Dapo. Randy was one time a part of the nighttime spin. That's look. I hope you guys not taking it personal why I've alerted Randy all of the time. Randy is part and parcel of all of our platforms here at Freedom. All right. So we'll always have Randy to share with us his thoughts on national issues. Let's talk to this person. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Rena.
Yes, welcome to the show. Tell us your name and where you joined the conversation from.
Yeah, I'm Rosa Skazulukane calling you this morning from Broad Street.
Okay, let's hear you.
Yeah, quickly to the issue. No, Rena, to admit, it's very much disgraceful. Either should I say the first republic in Africa or the second, for a country to be like what happening today. Look, the whole entire process of what damaged the whole system now is what the executive have done. Because the thing was very much clear. People just want to interpret the law, getting to know from the Bible that since the government came into being the lead line, until then they get on the part of the constitution that is clear. Everybody's living in the whole country and in the whole world. Stay there, sending the Osaka. You carry on and act calling yourself majority bloc, which of course is not even existing in the law. Okay. Now I that were already let's just say extraordinary and or let's just say beyond your bound. And the Supreme Court ruling came up by saying that they start to come around. We don't want, because you are mature, you already know that area that said is a political theater. So they start to come around in a political form. They will finish interpreting the law to you. You will go and do your best best. This is why they refer them by saying that go and implement Article 33 or 49. 33 is because to understand that yes, simple president, let's just say they are quorum. And the one that the people don't know yet is when they call in as a majority block. In that 33, they tell you that because they don't know what the Supreme Court talking about logical meaning. If you're in your simple majority until time comes, there are other people who travel or there are other people who sick as lawmaker, and then they decide not to go, let's just say, for session, looking at it from day to day to come until then where then they can find a forum where where the law said that, but then this time to come around, the minority can compare let's just say absentee to join even in the great United States, if only the executive are not come to issue the one now we see the whole world surprise and what are you using political power now by saying such or from place to place and make sure, especially one of the feature instruments just hit ground which is the 2025 which is the national budget. Everybody will be forced to come, or maybe people also to form the forum where they will come. Mm-hmm. But instead, they jump over everything and then they start to carry on let's just say leadership. Yes. And for the now, you can't say again that the presiding officer, you not remove the presiding officer according to let's just say the Constitution, then you see yourself sitting in separate session having another speaker. What kind of parliament so well? Most of the guys in the land. Okay. And besides that, one was let's just say the wisdom that they brought on board after they finished experiencing their 40-some more years, everybody claiming years and years they know.
Okay, my brother, thank you. Thank you very much. I think you said it all, and thanks for your contribution. Let's talk to Aliyu Masaleh. Aliyu is one of our panelists here, and Aliyu has just joined the conversation. So Aliyu, it's good having you. Welcome to the show. Despite we are at the climax, but I know you've been following, and you followed the post of the Facebook post of the Speaker Jay Fonati Kofa. He was officially informed that he will be stripped of his immunities beginning today. So what is your take?
Thank you, Mr. Neely. Thank you for the show. Yes. The problem here, or I think this is something that, and I like the speaker's stand. The stand of Mr. Kofa is doing everything. Mm-hmm. Of law and the democracy of our country. Mm-hmm. You see, first President Baka, he campaigned on respecting rule of law, that President Weah was there respecting all the law was broken in the country during President Weah administration. And it is so sad today to see President Baka, who spent 42 years in government, he does not know anything about government. You see, and what Mr. Kofa is doing, this will show to the international community and the whole world that Mr. Boakai came to destroy our country, because any country where there is no respect for rule of law, that's not a country. Mm-hmm. And what the Boakai is doing is just show a signal. This is a warning to those who are intending to go and invest in our country. Because if you can get a country where there is no respect for rule of law, the president is breaking all the laws in the country. What guarantee you? And the justice minister, this is so sad for our country. Because this man, when he was called to the Supreme Court, he said that they had nothing to do with what was going on. Where in the world you have seen a justice minister going to interpret Supreme Court ruling? Nowhere in the world that has happened. Even in the history of Liberia, we have never seen that before. Mm-hmm. So where if our country go into chaos today, you will be held responsible. Because today, the Senate, they have agreed to work with the so-called majority black based on your opinion of the Supreme Court ruling. And these are some of the things. People travel, they get all of the education, and when they go to Liberia, they do the opposite. This man, he's a seasoned lawyer. He has built his integrity over these years. And today,
He has lost his integrity because of this Joseph Boakai incompetent government. This is so sad. So where are we heading to? And you can take all your security details from the speaker. All we know, we the Liberian people and those who are legally guided and minded, this is not about politics. This is about the democracy of our country. So we know Mr. Kofa, he stayed the speaker. You can take all your security details from him and he will still be protected. He is the speaker. And this is a warning to every Liberian in and out of Liberia. Our country is not safe. Because where in a country where there is no respect of rule of law, there is not a country. There is no respect, even the Supreme Court. What they did, but we wait to see because I think they have written them. We're waiting to see what will become the outcome of the letter that was sent to them from South Fuku and also the speaker. And the Justice Minister, I think they said they have summoned him to go to the grievance committee. Let's see what's going to happen. But Mr. Boakai, this is so sad. 42 years in government, even those people who are advising you, if they give you an advice, from your experience in government, you can tell them, no, this is not good for our country, and this is not good for my government. But to tell we the Liberian people, Joseph Boakai had no leadership ability. He came to destroy our country, and this is what we're on today. So not to take much of the time, Mr. Kofa, stay your ground, fight for democracy, and fight for the rule of law. Mr. Boakai only came to destroy our country. So it is up to we the Liberian people, just as Jay Randy said, do we want a democracy government or a country of democracy that we have rule of law respected? Do we want a dictatorship government or do we want a real government? Because Mr. Boakai is going to be a dictator. When they get the Supreme Court, the one right now what they are fighting on now, when they get the House of Representatives, they already get the Senate. Everything finished. You know what Randy said, what they told Junior Jet today, or their rebel group leader. Okay, so if that happens in the country, I think all the radio stations will be shut down because we have a dictator government now in the country. You see, this is so sad for our country. When we told the Liberian people Joseph Boakai was never the choice of Liberia. If George Weah failed the country, there were other people. But Joseph Boakai was never the choice. Madam said he didn't make any mistake by packing Joseph Boakai on the side. Because if she were to give chance, he was just going to help to destroy her government. Thank you, Mr. Nimle. God bless America. God bless Liberia.
Thank you, Aliyu Masale. So we get to some comments. We are about to read out some comments, and we will come and take more calls. We leave from here at 1:30, but let's get to more comments. Let's get to the comment section and read a few more comments. So let me see from where I stop first. Somebody just wrote this long thing. I don't know, but I'll try to read it. I'm here to read your comments, so I'm not going to be selective in reading your comments. So don't bother. All of the comments will be read. Karim Soko says, hey, bro, if Liberian people don't be careful, I see Liberia going down slowly like Haiti, trust and belief. Dubon Hill says, good evening, my dear brother Wendell. Good evening to you, Dubon. Philip Boy Merchant. All right, he says, kindly write these entities against the human rights violation to suppress democracy under, it says to suppress democracy under the GMB government. UN Human Rights Liberia. All right, so info liberia@un.org is the address. United Nations Mission in Liberia, UNMIL, Monrovia, Liberia, to UNDP Liberia office to, okay, I think these are all of the addresses. Those of you who want to get in contact, you want to write our international partners, all the requisite agencies to have them informed. You can go and search for Freedom And just follow the Nighttime Spin tonight's edition. All of the addresses are labeled there for you to, get those human rights institution, get your complaint to them about the government's action. Victor Nyikan says Liberia is not going anywhere. Dubon Hill says the police had no business being there in the first place. Parliamentarians fight amongst themselves all over the world, and state police don't go there to take sides. And Nelson says, Somo says, good morning. I'm watching you live from Bone County District number 6. Joseph Waka take Liberia to be his farm role, or what is happening in the country is not good. Please be informed that next week would not be easy on the Capitol Hill. Tuesday, we will get outside any policeman who would take tear gas to pull it on us. They will, we will go to his, says we'll go to his office. And Ruth Boyle Bryan says, I'm watching you from Phoenix, Arizona, USA. And there's one here from GT to Warrior the Ted. Liberians, this is not a time to sit on the sidelines. The rule of law protects all of us, and it is our responsibility to hold our leaders accountable. What can we do? Speak out, write to your representatives, demand transparency. If the Constitution is ignored today, it could be your rights ignored tomorrow. And so far, so good. Those are all the comments. Let's take a few more calls, maybe 5 more calls, and then we close up on this edition of the Nighttime Spin. So let's take a few more calls, 5 more calls, and then we'll go home. This person, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, my brother. How you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. Welcome to the show. Your name and where you join us from?
Yes, I'm Jeremiah. I'm calling from Labasi, 10 point to be precise.
Welcome, Jeremiah. Let's hear you.
Yeah, thank you for the topic of the discussion. As far as my brother, this country is going down, but we the Liberians are taking it very, very lightly. I'm listening to you here from what I said earlier. But yes, Joseph Waka is acting like someone who just, let me just say, someone who just entered into power or don't know nothing about the country or nothing about leadership. You see, since the man been in the power, I've never seen in my whole life since I've been listening to news or dealing with politics. I've never seen someone trying to speak up in the house to do replacement for what? Joseph Waka is bringing this country down. You're taking it a bit like this country is under a serious attack, but we are not.
Hello? Oh, I didn't cut you off or caller you. Hello, you there? Okay, let me take another person. Hello? Oh, let me go. Let me let you go with that kind of feedback. Let me take another person. Good morning. Good morning. I'm fine. Welcome to the show. Your line is kind of, not too good. But anyway, go ahead. Let's hear you. Go ahead. Hello? Man, your line too bad. I can't continue with you. I will have to discontinue the conversation because your line is terrible. So let me take the last 3 callers and then we wrap up this edition of the Nighttime Spin. This person, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Yes, good morning and welcome to the Nighttime Radio, the program, the Nighttime Spin on Freedom FM 87.9. What's your name and where you calling from?
This is Franklin Davis calling from Matali Cinco.
Franklin, you've been listening to the conversation and you've been listening to what is unfolding in the country. What's your take? The with the current, battle on the ground or on the capital?
Yes, brother. This thing is just hard to see because for me, they're in so many countries.
Mm-hmm.
This is a difficult thing. I'm not ready to see in other countries like that. This thing happening in this country. To have two speakers and also people beating on lawmaker. No, it's somehow. Waka need to ready put itself together. Because even during the time when I was in Africa, I was small, I can remember. There was a president called Ali Guna Didier. After the death of President
Ofre Bonnier, yeah.
Yes. You see, they got carrying a certain attitude in Africa there as the president. So the people break it down by force. Yeah, I'd rather ask my mother, say, man, they wanted to be the president. You call my mother, say, they said great changes for government. When government not doing something good in the country, that what can happen? So just bring that put itself together because if they need going over internationally, it's not good.
Okay.
Story, brother. They just make it thing hard, thing tough for people. It's not good like that.
I know we got Christmas. We got Christmas coming here. Christmas will soon be here.
Yeah.
And we can't even see any sign of us celebrating this Christmas.
Everything just getting hard, my brother. Everybody complaining. Why?
All right, Franklin.
We let him. We don't let him.
That's why we need to pour his feet to fire. We need to pour his feet to fire. So I know you will be part of the citizens. I hope you will join part of the citizens action on Tuesday because it's going to be peaceful. It's going to be peaceful. Yeah, no trouble. All right, so that you can put Joseph Boakai feet to fire. Checkmate Joseph Boakai. That's the best thing to do. Thank you, Franklin. Let's take another person. After you, we'll take one more call and then we'll close up. Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
I'm fine. Thank you. What's your name and where you join us from? Hello? Yo, you sounding like you're not well. I don't know what's happening to you. All right, let's hear you. Go ahead. Hello? Go ahead. Whoa, Yolanda. I don't know what's happening. Yolanda is terrible. I have to cut you off. Let me talk to this last caller. Good morning. Yes, your name and where you calling from? Yeah, our very last caller after you were closing up. So what's your name?
My name is Kelvin Ito, calling from New York.
Let's hear you, Kelvin.
Yeah, the project is so sweet in that year because it's the very first protest that Joseph Boakai would be aware of the Liberian citizens that went into our country. Is that right? If I have my own way, we will come to take this protest to every country within this country, every representative, for every district, even after the 5% said, we are 10 particular protest to the capital building. The international community are going to know the act of the government of Liberia that doing their own things, we come to know the rule of law within this country. The citizens are going to test them.
Okay, thank you. And that's all the time. We're not taking any more calls. We are pressed with time. But look, folks, this country is our country. The country, the play what the country reach now is not party business. The way how things are going in our country, it has nothing to do with you being attached to a party. This is a national issue because what is unfolding in our country is for every one of us to get involved. The people that are supposed to be making laws, the people that are supposed to be enforcing the laws, they are all at loggerheads. And the people that are supposed to interpret the laws, they are not being respected today. The Supreme Court of the Republic of Liberia, that when that court talk, nobody can talk. The only person when that court talk now, just leave your own with God. But Joseph Boakai said, no, the Supreme Court is not as powerful as the executive. That's why he is saying through his justice minister. So can you imagine the justice minister, the Attorney General of the Republic of Liberia, the man who can sit down when the government of Liberia is signing contracts with other companies and countries, the man who can signature the man is telling us that the Supreme Court was in error. That's what the man is telling us, the justice minister, that the Supreme Court decision, the ruling from the Supreme Court, they were in error. So the 5 justices of the Supreme Court, they are not, good as, he claimed. Because if the man would tell us, say, Sia Yane Yo, they ain't know their job. Justice Nyama Bese, they ain't know their job. Yusuf Kaba, they ain't know their job. James Elton Wolo Colley, they ain't know their job. Then it means that Liberia is heading for trouble. So they have called on the justice minister to publicly retract that statement he made, that the decision, the ruling by the Supreme Court gave grounds to the majority bloc. So the executive, the Senate should work with the majority bloc, not the pro-Kofa group. Can you imagine this? The people then who are lawyers. So if you have this man as justice minister, you think Liberia will win cases? Oswald Twe. Oswald Twe is a big brother of mine. He knows me like that. He's a big brother and friend. We all grew up in the same community. They were the big brothers. We were the guys, taking after them. He's a big brother. But for Oswald to come up, Oswald, there are a lot of people got respect for in this country. Prior to him coming into government, a lot of people saw him as their mentor. Even with a big mistake he made, this one will call it big blunder on the part of the justice minister. The Supreme Court is telling us in Article 33 and 49 the power that the Speaker has. So anything that is done outside of the Speaker is illegal. So if you think you got issues with the Speaker, the Supreme Court is saying, you say you got 49, you got 50, you got 51, you got 60%. You'll go to the session or you'll bring your case. But you cannot be having separate session while the Speaker is still alive. The Speaker is not sick. The Speaker is in the country. Then you're having other session when the Speaker who's supposed to preside is healthy and kicking. Then you're having another session. The Supreme Court is saying, no, you'll go back to status quo ante. Meaning that you'll have to go back and do the right thing. You'll give Fonati due process. If you say Fonati corrupt, is criminal-minded, with all of the adjectives being used, you'll go through the due process. Then the justice minister now coming out to tell a different thing, misinterpreting what the Supreme Court said. So do you need somebody to tell you that the police that went at the Capitol went on the instruction of the justice minister? Do you need somebody to tell you that? The police falls under the justice system of our country. The immediate boss of the Inspector General of the Liberia National Police is the Justice Minister. So you've seen the police on the grounds of the capital. That was on the instruction of the Justice Minister. But none of us here praying for bad things to happen. We're not going to use these microphones to incite people to go about violence. The rule of law must be respected. That's why we are advocating for. Let us respect the rule of law, the organic laws of our country that protects you and myself. We need to respect it. Respect the Constitution. Joseph Boakai said, no, he's not going to respect anything. The first thing the man took over, he had that grudge. He started tampering with tenure positions. The court instructed that all of those who are serving tenure positions to serve their tenure, and after then, Boakai, you can make your own appointment because the Constitution provides that. The Constitution, provides that those who are in tenure positions, they should not be tampered with, except that exception. There are too many things involved. Maybe that person must breach the Constitution or do something that will warrant their suspension or dismissal. But in the absence of that, they are protected because those positions are tenure positions. But Boakai King started violating. The court said, do this. Boakai didn't listen. He still went beyond the people he suspended them. Total violation of the law. So what kind of country when you have a president, the president is not respecting the rule of law? That's a total breakdown for the country. That thing that happened at the Capitol the other day, that thing could lead us into war, into chaos, serious destruction. Why Boakai want to turn this country into a police state, into a country of men? What the essence of the Constitution, what the essence of the law if we cannot respect it? So only the ordinary people should feel the burnt. Only the ordinary people that want that know justice for the poor. And no justice for the poor. Only the ordinary people will suffer it. And our Boakai say, and our Boakai want to happen in Liberia. Our pa Boakai, our grandpa Boakai, Omen Boakai. Kisi Pape get died. How small Omen. All the things happening, he's not even speaking. He's not even speaking. To say, oh, the thing happening in the country, the president come and talk. I want to all be waiting now for the president to talk. Or the other president say, we are noisy minority. Or noisy, I don't know how to describe us. Because that's how a former boss described us. So that's how the country is going. You know, some of our friends who are in this government, we are calling on you people to do the right thing. We know this old man is mentally incapacitated. That one, you know, when somebody 80-year-old, when somebody 90 years old, because God himself that created us, he knows that you have to reach certain age, and the life span he gave us is 70 years. When you go above 70 years, it means that the grace, that God grace. So God says we will live for 70 years. So 80, 90, when you reach that age, it's like you're 1 year or 1 month old baby. Because everything in your head now was lost. Plenty of things that you will not remember. In fact, sometimes your own children, then you can't even remember. You don't even know how many children you got. You know, it's medical. That when you're aging, you depreciate. You didn't the strength you had when you were 20, you're 50, now you didn't have the same strength you got. No. So that plenty of things happening to our president that we can say he's not in charge. He's not in charge. If you look at the old man, you will know that he's not well. He's not well. Mentally, physically, he's not well. So according to him, he just turned 80 the other day. So 80-year-old man to lead this country is not easy, or it's not an easy task. Sylvester Grisby, Mama Kability then, Oswald Tweden. Those are the big hands that running Waka government. Those are the big hands. Katumu Bwaka, the first lady. Those are the people that are, making decisions, taking decisions for the country. That's why you see Liberia is going the way Liberia is going. Just few people are just benefiting from the country wealth. Just few handful of people. When you have bulk of the people going through tough time, parents are still struggling to get their kids in school. Civil servants are finding it difficult because the money they are paying them is very small. When this government told us that they were going to increase people's salary, they were going to create job opportunities for Liberians. What did they do when they took over? They went after people. They took people out of jobs. When you take one man from jail, you know how many mouths you are shut down in this country. When the government are supposed to be creating jobs, making sure that investors come and pump money into the country. But with the kind of things that are happening, the investors themselves, they are afraid, because nobody want to pump their money into a country where there is no security. Well, you see security and there are lawmakers enforcing. So you think you will want to bring company in that kind of country? It will be difficult. Because you come here, you can't even see the atmosphere to do business. When people are still receiving kickbacks, Mama Kability then. Oh yes, the 2020 report. The 2020 report from January so I think the report came up in the month of October or August. That report came up that current officials of government are still receiving kickbacks from people who wants to invest in the country. So a lot of things happening in this country and nothing is being done. So we, the citizens, we are the one to call the government to check and say, no, you people are not leading correctly. You need to do X, Y, Z. The people are catching hard time. You go to public schools, no chairs. Students are still sitting on rotten bench with social change coming on them in public schools. Where are the free schools? Where are the jobs they said they were going to create? Just few hand of people just enjoying the wealth of this country. We just got to keep praying. We didn't listen. We told y'all, if y'all want to change, you said George Weah was the worst president ever in the history of Liberia. Bouakai was not the change. Bouakai was never, ever the change. See what our country is going through in this modern age and time. Our people are finding it difficult to survive. They are struggling. Our people are still struggling. Where is the rescue mission? Where is the rescue team? Liberians are drowning. Where is the rescue team? We don't want to rescue the people that they ain't rescue all. We rescue old man Bouakai. We rescue the Pape. The Pape can tell us, say, he worked for 12 years as vice president of the Republic of Liberia. He's serving government for 42 years and he was still living on loan. That people that also be living on loan. At least the small money we're making, the bank and kind of offer and take it. But you work in government for 42 unbroken years. You serve in prestigious positions. You serve as the second person in the country for 12 years. And then you come back to tell us, say, you are living on loan. Joseph Bouakai never even had money when he's sick to go to hospital. President Weah rescued the old man, but see how he's paying President Weah back. Well, folks, thank you so much. Let's see what we'll have a few more comments to do before we go. All right, let me see. Yes, we have a few more comments. And this one, it says here, let me see. Okay. This one from Blama C. Dolly. He said he didn't say that. All right. The justice minister did not say that, my brother. What did the justice minister say? Tell us, Blama C. What did the justice minister say? Please tell us. Tell us. Blamasi Dolly, tell us, what did the justice minister say? What was the interpretation of the justice minister relative to the ruling from the Supreme Court? Don't say, you say, my brother, the justice minister didn't say that. But tell us what the justice minister said now. You can't say it. What did the justice minister say? Blamasi Dolly. Aliyu Masale, JMB brain is declining. I have people of his age in my nursing home, agencies where I worked. JMB needs to be in a senior nursing home. All right. So Blamansi will come and go home now. You can't tell what the justice minister say. You know, I don't understand people. So why the Supreme Court coming up to say the justice minister should retract what he said publicly? Folks, thanks to all of you for your time. Thanks for your contribution on the program, The Nighttime Spain. We couldn't link up with our guys on our live, but at least we had Aliyu, who had a call in to make his input. All of you who called, including Randy J. Dapo, want to say thanks to all of you, your comments. We appreciate all of you. We'll be here Monday. The Nighttime Spain returns to the airwaves. Until then, do have a pleasant time.